honestly, we might go ahead and do that. But what's up, guys? What's up? We got another video today. We're gonna be watching how IKEA mastered furniture. Now, I've never really got the hype around IKEA. I know they have food in there. What is that, pasta and stuff they have in there? Is there like pasta, meatballs? I don't know. But we're gonna find out how they quote unquote mastered furniture. Whether that's true or not, it's by Primal Space. So you know what? We're not even gonna do too much small talk. We're just gonna hop right into it. Go ahead and like the video if you like it. You know what I'm saying, okay?
The Lack coffee table, one of IKEA's most important
Lack? Why is it
products.
called Lack?
If you had to design the
Wait, do I have
simplest
one of
table
those?
possible, you'd come
I think
up
I used
with
one of
this.
those.
It has no fancy angles, no intricate details, no patterns, and yet it's an engineering
I have
masterpiece.
one exactly like that.
Thanks to its simplicity, it hit the market in 1981 at just under 10 euros.
I don't know if it's
blowing
IKEA
the
though.
cheapest alternatives out of the water. Incredibly,
Yeah.
even after
It's
decades
like the
of
Aldi's of,
inflation,
furniture.
IKEA has never increased its price, and it still sells for just $9.99.
That's
In order
amazing.
to pull this off, IKEA had to get creative, and that's why this table is made of paper.
It's made of paper.
This is just one of many engineering breakthroughs that allowed IKEA to cut costs, simplify assembly, and make furniture affordable for everyone. If you're over a certain
I don't know, I might
age,
be
chances are you've
be
assembled
naked.
IKEA furniture. The materials, the fasteners, and the way it all goes together feels familiar. And with almost no skill and very basic tools, anyone can do it. But it wasn't always like this. Before the 1950s, furniture was heavy and expensive. If you wanted a new wardrobe, a professional woodworker would spend weeks making it. Then a moving company would transport it to your home fully assembled. Every step of the process was slow and costly. And so filling your home with everyday items was extremely expensive.
Yo, maybe that's why old people have all their furniture and they just keep all their furniture because they remember the days like that. Because I know, like, a lot of the old people I know, they do that. They like hoard their furniture and stuff like that. So I wonder if like it's a part of that like pastime remembrance of like how hard it is to replace furniture, even though it's not true that technically today. But like maybe it like carries through and they're just like, I ain't throwing out nothing. I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely interesting.
But all of this changed one day in 1956.
Literally can pull up to the house from the day I was born, can pull up to the house now and still have some of the same stuff in there.
In a small town in rural Sweden, product designer Gillis Lundgren was struggling to fit his latest creation into the back of his car, a coffee table for the local furniture company IKEA. The awkward shape of the legs made it impossible, so he sawed them off, and the table slid perfectly into the car. That's when it clicked. If all of IKEA's products could be packed flat like this, customers could deliver and assemble the products themselves, cutting out a huge part of the cost. Lundgren pushed this idea to his boss,
Is this a
and
German
soon
company?
the table was redesigned with legs that simply screwed on. It was a small design change, but it allowed IKEA to pass the burden of delivery and assembly onto the customer. Over the next few years, the price of the
is
table
IKEA
dropped,
German
and soon
company? Where did IKEA originate? IKEA, we'll just say start. There's less characters. Oh, it's Swedish. Okay. Okay.
Soon, IKEA redesigned its whole catalog to be flat-packed and self-assembled. It was a genius move.
Big
Throughout the
business
60s,
move right
IKEA
there.
went from just a single store in Sweden to managing multiple stores
I know they got to eat
across
for a
Europe.
minute
If IKEA
off
was
that,
born today,
before
they
anybody
could have
caught up.
relied on Odoo, today's sponsor, to
Come
manage
on.
their business.
That was
Its
not
web
bad.
apps, a color palette, make it look dragging and visible. Your day description. IKEA's change
That
to
wasn't bad.
flat pack furniture took them from a single furniture store in Sweden to multiple
Yeah,
stores
they ate off
across
that.
Northern Europe. But as they started mass producing more and more furniture, they ran
I know the
into
margins
an
on that were
unavoidable
crazy
problem:
once they
the
implemented
wood
it.
itself.
They ate for
As
a minute.
humidity changes, the natural fibers in real wood expand and contract, causing the wood to warp in unpredictable ways.
Yeah, we learned that
For
the
a
other day.
custom-made
I
piece
already
of
knew that,
furniture,
but-
this wasn't a huge problem to overcome. But when it came to mass producing thousands of parts, screw holes wouldn't line up and parts wouldn't fit together, making assembly a nightmare for the customer. To get around this, IKEA started working with factories in Poland to mass produce particle board, an engineered
Particle
wood
board.
made from sawdust and resin pressed together to form perfectly flat boards. Without the continuous grains of real wood, it was incredibly stable, maintaining its flat shape without warping. But particle board had one big drawback. Regular screws simply turned particle board into dust without holding it together. And so IKEA had to come up with a stronger and simpler way of assembling its products.
What's that?
Instead of screws, it started experimenting with knockdown fasteners, special hardware used to connect two panels together. Many different types already existed, but they hadn't been perfected for particle board furniture. The most promising of these was the cam lock. By altering the thread size, the lock shape, and pre-drilling the holes,
That looks cool.
they could be screwed into particle board without destroying it. The dowel would screw into the first panel and slide straight into a corresponding hole on the opposite panel. The lock would then be inserted into another pre-drilled hole,
turned.
and by simply twisting it, it would lock onto the dowel and pull the two panels together. It was incredibly simple, and cam locks started appearing in
That's so
every
cool.
IKEA instruction
I
manual.
always like this stuff like
IKEA
the
was on
basic
a roll,
like woodworking
and it continued
like,
opening
I
new
had mentioned
stores
this in
all
other
over
video, I
the
already know,
world
but
throughout
this
the
stuff is
70s.
just so cool to me.
That's when it realized that part of it.
I used to actually build stuff like this in high school when we were I would do indoor drumline, and like we would make like our own like props and stuff like that, and so we were like basically had to learn woodworking on the spot. It was pretty fun because my instructor, he's actually like pretty good craftsman too, so he ended up helping us out with a lot of tips that I still use today when I'm building stuff, which is pretty cool.
Success wasn't just due to the products, but the IKEA store itself. When the first store opened in 1958, it had a very unique design. Instead of multiple aisles where customers went straight to what they wanted, the IKEA store had a single path that weaved its way through a series of showrooms. Before customers could reach the checkout, they had to walk past
You had to
every
see
item in the
everything.
store. With this
You gotta make
maze-like
sure you
design,
want it.
customers became lost and disoriented, not knowing where the end was or how long they had left.
Was that
They started
strategic?
to forget what they actually came to buy in the first place. And
Oh.
they became more open to impulse purchases.
That's
The
crazy.
IKEA store became an experience rather than just a store. And this dramatically
crazy.
increased sales. Customers would enter to buy one thing and leave
You come
with
out with
much
something
more.
else.
IKEA
Oh, wow.
realized the effect this had on people and continued opening stores around the world, leaning in to its
Shaking
maze-like
my head,
layout.
man.
But to supply their ever-growing business, they needed wood and
It was
lots
cool,
of
man.
it.
It was cool. Honestly, I feel two ways about this because on the one hand, it's like it's cool to have an experience like that, like have like a maze-like store, and it's like, you know, you gotta navigate through it. But on the other hand, it's also preying on people's like what's a good word for it? I guess lack of focus. Preying on people's lack of focus and like using that to monetize more off them, even if they don't necessarily need what they had, which is a little bit predatory, unfortunately.
At the time, IKEA was getting most of its wood from suppliers in Poland. But whenever the suppliers upped their prices, it put IKEA's already cheap products in a tough spot. The solution was to make the same products, but by using far less material. And so IKEA set its designers a task: make a table with a price that no competitor could even come close to matching. The key was in the hexagon. It might not seem like it, but this shape
honeycomb?
holds special qualities seen throughout nature that maximize strength and minimize weight. Other shapes could be used, but all of these end up with straight paths where a single force could be sent through and break the structure. With hexagons, each wall is 120 degrees apart, and so incoming forces get spread more evenly throughout the structure, making it incredibly strong. Most importantly, it achieves this strength using less material than any other shape. This idea had already been used in planes, cars, and ships to make lightweight metal walls. IKEA took it and turned it into paper. First, a machine would turn rolls of paper into a honeycomb structure and place it into a sturdy particle board frame. Then, the honeycomb would be glued and sandwiched between two thin particle board sheets. The result was a super strong and lightweight tabletop that looked just like wood while using only a tenth of the material.
Like
On top of that,
that's W technological advancement right there. That's like the positive level of technological advancement that that really makes the profit margins in the business really take off from a fundamental standpoint, not from a predatory standpoint. You know, like a lot of modern businesses, they'll use like predatory, like psychological practices to increase profits. This is just something that makes, like, it doesn't decrease the actual quality of the product from what it's supposed to be. Like, it's supposed to be affordable, it's supposed to be lightweight, it's supposed to be strong and durable. It does its job, but they just do it with not like necessarily cutting like how good it is and keeping it like the same price. They're like, no, we're gonna make it cheap and sell it cheap. It's gonna be true to source. Like, it's gonna be with good quality, but just made with like better ingenuity to allow you to make it cheaper and sell it cheaper. That's just good business.
since everything was made from engineered wood and paper, recycled materials could be used at scale.
And it's
Thanks
like
to this amazingly
bro.
strong and efficient design,
That's so
IKEA
cool.
achieved its goal, and the table went on sale in 1981 for $9.99. It was an instant hit, selling
$10
millions in
table,
its
bro.
first year. But throughout the 90s, labor and material costs started to rise once again, and the lax $9.99 price tag was in
Do I have
danger.
one?
The only thing left to optimize was the legs. The
Make 'em
honeycomb
shorter?
method didn't fit inside, and so they were still being made from solid wood. But with tens of millions of legs being made every year, a small improvement could save IKEA a lot of money. It tried switching to plastic legs, but over time, the plastic would discolor and end up looking different from the top. And so, together with its Polish manufacturers, IKEA developed a brand new machine that could accurately fold thin particle board around two wooden blocks. The end result was a virtually empty leg that could be made almost completely autonomously.
Are they
may
like,
not-
hold on, let me see, let me check. I don't know, it sounds pretty hollow. I might actually have one of those. That might be what that table is. I don't remember when I got it. That might be actually what that table is. It's like a black one though. Interesting. Interesting. But I've had that junk for years and it's been holding up solid. I've been using it, putting whatever on it. It's just been holding up. Such quality material right there.
Be the prettiest or most impressive looking table, but it's the perfect example
it's
of
about
how IKEA's
functionality.
quest for efficiency helped make furniture accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
W IKEA, man. I never knew that. That's really cool that they're out here doing that, man. They're really killing the furniture game for real. I didn't know that. I thought they just had pasta and that was like their thing. But hey, that's gonna be the video. Let me know what y'all thought about it down in the comments. And y'all got any IKEA furniture? Let me know. Go ahead and like the video if you liked it. Go ahead and sub to Primal Space. Sub to me if you want to stay around for more. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.